welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. I don't know how many of you watched the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game yesterday. Of course, I was watching. I was live for it. Many of you, I imagine, were in the building, as they say, and we got to witness another blowout. As I said recently in a video, nobody wants to watch a blowout basketball game. We certainly don't want to see it in the Final Four, and we certainly don't want to see it in the championship game. But if you hung around to watch the whole thing, that is exactly what you got. Now, as much as I don't like UConn, as much as I've never liked UConn and never rooted for Gino Auriemma, I got to say congratulations to UConn and 12 championships right now. 12. That is off the charts for real. South Carolina, I want to go, they didn't show up, but they did show up. Maybe they shouldn't have shown up. I say that lightheartedly, but that was terrible. I'll get to some of that in another video. As for this video, let's first, before I get into the Caitlyn Clark derangement syndrome on full display, let's take a look at who did what in this title game, because it's noteworthy for sure. I'm at ESPN.com, and we can see that UConn defeated South Carolina 82-59 in a championship game. South Carolina number 1, UConn number 2. And the box score, Paige Bueckers had 17 points. She had been having good games, and I pointed that out in a video just the other day. But in 38 minutes, she went 5 for 14 and 17 points. So not the kind of game I imagine she would have wanted to have as her final collegiate game. But when you play on a UConn team, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you also have Sarah Strong. And I talked about her in a recent video when I said whether Paige Bueckers ends up with the championship or not, she's leaving UConn in strong hands, namely Sarah Strong's strong hands. And Strong went 10 for 15 from the field, 2 for 3 from three-pointers, both free throws made, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. My goodness, 24 points, Sarah Strong. And some people felt like she should have received most outstanding player honors, but that went to AZ Fudd, who just was clicking on all cylinders as well. She played 38 minutes. She went 9 of 17. Three-pointers not so good, 1 for 6. Hit all her free throws. She had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, and she had 24 points. But people are like, well, how is Sarah Strong not the most outstanding player? I mean, 24 and 15 and 5. I think they said that's the first time that's ever been done in a championship game, or maybe even in a tournament game. You guys probably know this better than I do, but it was she did something ain't nobody done before, whether in the tournament or whether in the championship game or whatever. But 24, 15, and 5. Add to that 2 steals and 3 blocks. And I'll say again, she's a freshman. And she does it. Honestly, she does it so smoothly. It's like she's got no pressure at all. She just does her thing. And I wish she were not in a UConn jersey, because I'd love to root for her, but that ain't happening. Doesn't matter. She didn't need me to root for her. Okay. And South Carolina, they just were really bad. And I will get to them. I'll get to them at another time, because like I said, I plan on doing another video. Got to focus in on Dawn Staley a little bit. Let's talk about the Caitlyn Clark derangement syndrome. Now, please don't get in the comments and tell me not to use that term. I've had people who say, don't use that term. Or, I'm so upset that you use that term. It's causing me to, go into cold sweats or whatever. Are you using that because of Donald Trump derangement syndrome, which some of these people have? But when you mention it about Caitlyn Clark derangement syndrome, they get offended because they're like, I don't think that you should do that because you're trivializing, the real concern about the president and all that. Listen, your concern is not my concern, right? That's your issue, not my issue, because you got a problem with the president. Doesn't mean I got to have a problem with the president. And here's another thing. I've been using the term derangement syndrome before President Trump ever ran for president the first time. I know some of you don't realize this, but that term did not begin with the president. There is such a thing as derangement syndrome, and there is such a thing as Caitlyn Clark derangement syndrome. Here's the thing with this Final Four and this championship. There are people who are true UConn fans. They obviously want UConn to win a championship. There are people who are true Paige Bueckers fans. They obviously wanted her to get that championship before she left college. There are also people, probably most of the people engaging on social media in a negative way, who couldn't care less about Paige Bueckers. What they care about is that in their minds, there's the derangement syndrome. Her getting a championship makes them feel better because Caitlyn Clark didn't get a championship, and they're still stuck in this mindset that Caitlyn Clark is still back in college, that Caitlyn Clark has not gotten out of college, left college with multiplied records and awards, and has then stepped into the WNBA and doing some serious work in the WNBA. Some of these people have not caught on to that yet, and they somehow think that, that Caitlyn is somehow got knocked out of the tournament this year. That did not happen. So it's just really weird. But yeah, let's be honest. There are people who just wanted her to win. Paige were sitting on the edge of their seats and nearly pooped their pants with joy when Paige came out of that game and she embraced her coach, or he embraced her, or whatever. And so some people were really excited because it was all about Caitlyn Clark, which is really pathetic. It really is. And then, of course, there are people who did not want Paige to get a championship. And some of them may not like Gino or UConn. The team is stacked. Some of them don't, maybe not like Paige. I don't know. But a lot of people knew what was coming. They knew it was going to be all about Caitlyn and trying to pile on to Caitlyn again, as if Caitlyn is still in college, hasn't surpassed them all, and moved on to the professional level where she's kicking serious tail over there too. Let's be honest. So I just want to show you, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time through the cesspool known as Twitter or X, but I do want to show you a couple things here. Front Office Sports has this: 4 of the top 5 recruits from the 2020 women's basketball recruiting class have now won national titles. Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Camila Cardoso. The last one is Caitlyn Clark. Well, bravo to you, Front Office Sports. 4 of the top 5. Is it me, or is this something new? Do we generally point out these kinds of things, that everybody got a championship except for one person, or this person didn't get a championship? As Lisa Leslie said, I did a video on this the other day. It's not that important. What are you continuing to do? Lisa Leslie herself being Exhibit A. Many people don't win national championships, and it never, ever comes up. But Caitlyn Clark derangement syndrome just oozes nonsense, and people then forget that Caitlyn Clark was playing on Iowa and did what she did at Iowa, and how phenomenal that is, which is, in my opinion, a huger feat than Paige Bueckers, who did not play a good game, was not even the leading scorer, and had other players who really brought her over the finish line of that championship. They didn't need Paige Bueckers to suit up at all. Of course, she is a great player and she does so much on the court, but let's be honest, look at the roster. In any case, I just don't know that this has ever been a thing, but for some reason, Caitlyn Clark scares the snot out of these people. as much as she's elevating the sport, remember, these people are not here because they love the sport. Many of them are here because they can't stand Caitlyn, as if she's ever done anything to them, as if she ever says anything about all the nonsense going on around there. But we've talked quite a bit about what the problem is with Caitlyn Clark, and yet she just continues to ball out, which brings me to this from Sohali Sisi. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. It says, while y'all keep talking about stupid natties or no natties, the GOAT, Caitlyn Clark, ready to reach new heights this year. See you soon. That's true, isn't it? It says a whole lot. People over here talking about Caitlyn Clark. That tells you the effect right there. Not talking about Paige like they should be talking about Paige. The first thing they think about is Caitlyn Clark and about what she did in her past. Meanwhile, Caitlyn is in the present moment, having taken her team to the playoffs, which hadn't been done in years. All the free agents want to come because they can't wait to catch Caitlyn's passes, as they say. Just came in, just broke 62 records, even though people acted like she couldn't get the job done, including Gino. Didn't believe that she would be as good as she was. Didn't believe she could make it back to the playoffs. Didn't believe that she could handle the physicality. Didn't believe that she could be an all-star. Didn't believe that she could be fourth in MVP voting. Didn't believe that she could be all first team or all team number one or whatever you call it for the WNBA. Didn't believe people wanted to play with Caitlyn Clark, all that stuff. So while they're talking about the past, Caitlyn Clark is already setting the future. She's already setting the future, not just for her and her team, but people gonna get paid more because of Caitlyn Clark. Arenas have to be moved because Caitlyn Clark is the scheduling conflict, which, by the way, I'm selling those scheduling conflict t-shirts. Link in the description of this video where it says shop the ARS store. All right, check it out. But all this stuff is going on. She's totally changing the sport, and yet people are so deranged about it all that even when she's not in the tournament, she's not in the championship game, they're still talking about Caitlyn Clark. They're not celebrating Paige so much. Obviously, some are, but so many are just like, yes. Oh, yeah. Speaking of whom, Eton Thomas, remember his ridiculous, nauseating, what do you want to call it, article? Trash piece about Middle America. They don't accept Paige because Paige has a black stepmom, and Paige spoke up for black people. So nobody likes Paige, but they like Caitlyn. Yeah, because Caitlyn's in a class by herself. Paige is good, but Paige is not Caitlyn, and Paige shouldn't have to be Caitlyn. It's y'all weird people who are so delusional. Really, talk about delusional. Gino, you need to get on that. Get on that. But yeah, you guys are talking about the past. Caitlyn is not even there. She's already setting the future. She's in the gym every day with these people who've come over because we want to play with Caitlyn. We want to play for a winning franchise, and Caitlyn is that franchise player. But let's see what Eton Thomas said via X. He wrote, so when I asked why Paige Bueckers doesn't get the fawning over like Caitlyn Clark, many responded that she just wasn't as good and not a, quote, generational talent. Well, now she won a championship, something Caitlyn Clark didn't do. So y'all still stand by that, or is it something else? I'm going to help Mr. Eton Thomas out once again. Yes, we do stand by the fact that people get to root for whomever they want. We also stand by the fact that Caitlyn Clark is a generational talent. And you should know, as someone who was not a generational talent, that not everybody who wins a championship is that special someone. Not everybody draws in people. Not everybody changes the game. Not everybody who wins a championship is the player everybody wants to see. It just is what it is. Just because you won a championship doesn't make you the person everybody is drawn to. Caitlyn Clark is just that good. Why you hating on that? I got to tell you this. These people who have decided to make basketball a race war, because that's what they're doing from their own insecurities and stuff. It is so exhausting. I came back to the WNBA because of Caitlyn Clark. Some of you came to the WNBA for the first time because of Caitlyn Clark, or came back because of Caitlyn Clark, or followed her over from college. Some people, hopefully, if this works the way the WNBA would like, hopefully some people will follow Paige over to the WNBA as well, and the game will continue to grow. And they say that's what they want. But I tell you what, the narratives out there, and I'm not just talking about random people. We're talking about the ESPNs, all that stuff. They make this thing so very tiring and exhausting, and it totally sucks the air. Now, fans are fans, and you're always going to have people you like and you don't like, and that's cool. Trust me, I'm no Renee Montgomery. But some of this stuff is just pure derangement syndrome and racism, and people who think like, oh, middle America. Yeah, there are some people who don't like middle America either. Let's just tell the truth. We need to have some real conversations. I don't know how many of y'all are ready for it all. But yeah, Caitlyn's in the future, and they're trying to keep her in the past, and she's moved on. Congratulations to Paige. I know people are using your name, Paige, and I'm sure people in the WNBA are going to be asking you to step up and speak out about people who are using your name for such horrible reasons. The derangement syndrome it's if it weren't so exhausting, nauseating, and pitiful, it would just be hilarious, because these folks need counseling. So Caitlyn's over here in the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she continues to do, because she's already turned the league upside down, right side up. And just, well, reality came to the WNBA when Caitlyn Clark showed up. What are your thoughts? Get in the comment section. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.